What a fine mess I'd made for myself. The whole city was twisted into an angry mass beneath me, howling and plotting my downfall with every bit of vitriol it could muster. And in my state, I was half tempted to finally give in and let it happen. 3 years ago, I'd made the greatest mistake of my life. I'd eaten Taco Bell before a stream to hundreds of people, and paid the price in blood for it. My only pair of jeans being soiled by my hubris. It wasn't long before the pieces started falling down around me, one by one. A domino effect of pain and unhappiness that would set in motion the tragic events that now make up this story. First went the job, then my friends, followed shortly thereafter by divorce papers being served up fresh next to my morning coffee and pancakes one day.
No!
I told myself it wasn't my fault. I even managed to almost believe myself, but no matter how much I drank, I couldn't escape the truth. What I'd become. Not knowing where else to turn, I decided to get a new gig. Something mindless and easy. A beat cop for the NYPD. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. Before I knew it, I'd become an undercover agent in the crime family responsible for the distribution of an up-and-coming street-level drug called Velcure, a little-known side effect of which included uncontrollable bowel movements. The Punchinellos covered their tracks well, but not nearly well enough. I'd found out that they used fast food restaurants to distribute their product all those years ago, my old life falling prey to cross-contamination of their so-called product. The truth weighed on me. So did the revolver in my pocket. No amount of red tape could stop what was coming. Soon, the whole city would feel my pain. One by one, I climbed my way up the ranks of the Punchinello family, each conversation leading me to a new hellhole to fight my way through in a haze of pills and adrenaline. Who can say how many I gunned down along the way? I only knew I couldn't stop until I'd made the bastard who did this to me pay. But hubris is a hell of a thing. I'd gotten myself stuck in a spiderweb before long, a gang war erupting around me as I tried to get to the bottom of the drug now coursing through the city's veins like an infection. One I alone was determined to cut out. I walked forward head-on into danger, knowing full well each minute could be my last. There was no backup to help me, no second chances. This wasn't a game I could just turn off and walk away from, no matter how much I wished I could. One way or another, this story ends tonight. Its author would be whoever held the smoking gun and played the final tune. The city had fallen into chaos above ground. Warring gangs and cops with a bone to pick were waiting around every corner with itchy trigger fingers. Even in my state, I knew that was playing with fire. I tracked down the man behind this madness. The only issue was getting to him. The New York subway has its fair share of twists and turns, dark secrets and long-forgotten passageways making up the circulatory system that kept this city running day and night. What I was looking for was just that. A station on 6th Street that had been long since walled off and forgotten, lost to the rats back in '89. Still, as much as the prospect of declaring war with the rats felt like a death wish, I did what I had to do. I busted down the old crumbling wall in some far-off forgotten corner, nobody around but a few corpses that now lie in my wake. I felt myself twitch in fear as I entered the old walled-off tunnel. I knew well not to cross the rats of New York City, even on the best of days, and it had been a while since I'd had one of those. Still, the clock was ticking. The curtain was opening on the Broadway musical called Payne yet again, and I couldn't bear keeping my adoring crowd waiting any longer. It was showtime, and I was the leading man. I fought my way through the hordes of rats and barely made it out alive. Whatever luck I'd had was starting to change. I'd ended up in some far-off part of town, long since abandoned by the law. Here, the war throughout the rest of the city seemed just like another night passing by. I found a bar that had closed up shop for the night, not too far from the station. Nothing a crowbar and a broken window couldn't fix. Gee, nice service. The place was empty. Whoever owned it left in a hurry. I tossed a few dollars on the bar and grabbed a Four Loko from the fridge. That old familiar friend gave me life. The combination of liquor and caffeine felt like the pinnacle of American innovation in that moment. A refreshing elixir that kept my thoughts from running too far astray. I took a few pills to dull the pain of my patched-up wounds. Suddenly, the door swung open again. This time, a woman walked in. Leather jacket, colorful undershirt, plain white tank top. Clearly, this broad had style.
Mr. Payne. Of course I'd find you in a place like this.
She spoke in a dry and dreary voice. It reminded me of somebody, but I couldn't quite place it. What's it to you? Ah! Before I knew it, a metal pipe had made contact with my skull. Guess my luck was starting to go back to normal. As I laid on that cold wooden floor, being dragged off to God knows where, there was only a single thought in my mind. I wish I'd finished that Four Loko.